Yes.
Near the end of our presentation of evidence, and I'm mindful of the time, and I want to finish with our work by noon. I don't think I'll take this will take me 15 minutes, but it might take me 10.
Okay.
I'm going to identify 4 exhibits, and as I do that, I'll identify 2 persons who are present who could and would be called to testify, but I'm making the offer of proof this way out of respect for the rulings by Mr. Root before in motion practice before this hearing. First of all, I would offer the testimony of Annette Red Owl, and Annette is here, I believe. Will you stand, Annette, if you don't mind?
Could you please spell the name exactly?
Annette, A-N-N-E-T-T-E, Red Owl. I don't see her in the room at the moment, but she was here. If she were called to testify, she would testify that she is a custodian of records who would be capable of authenticating and would authenticate as genuine Exhibit 157 ambulance records. And thank you for coming forward, Annette. Since we're doing it this way, you won't have to testify unless Mr. Root decides my offer of proof is so great he wants to change his ruling, which I don't think he's going to do. But thank you for being here, and am I right?
Kind of a clarification on Ms. Red Owl. She's a custodian of ambulance records for which jurisdiction?
Yes, sir, absolutely. She's a custodian of ambulance records for the Oglala Lakota tribe and for its ambulance service. And the record she would authenticate would be travel from their ambulance service location to Whiteclay, Nebraska, and to return generally to the hospital in Pine Ridge.
No, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Red Owl, is your last name 2 words or just all 1 word? 2 words. Thank you.
And with that, you don't have to, assuming that the
I'm not
offer...
going to change my vote offer on that one there. It's beyond the scope. I mean, it's important, but beyond the scope of this hearing.
So you don't have to testify, and you can go back to your seat, and thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
And what exhibit would that be? That would be exhibit
157.
157, thank you.
The
outside of scope?
It was outside the scope. It was outside the scope, but during the motion ruling, I ruled on it.
And the next exhibit would also, I think, likely be ruled on in the same way, but to make my record and offer proof on this. This is exhibit 168, and Robin Tapio. And Robin, if you wanted to stand right here.
Could you spell the name, please?
T-A-P-I-O. Robin, thank you.
How do you spell Robin?
R-O-B-I. If Robin Tapio were called 168, I'm sorry. If Robin Tapio were called to testify, she would testify that she has been designated by the Executive Council of the Oglala Lakota Sioux Nation to present to the Commission Exhibit 168, which is the unanimous resolution of the governing body of the Oglala Lakota Sioux urging this Commission to refuse renewal of all 4 liquor licenses at Whiteclay.
That's exactly right.
Would you state that?
Yeah, the reason was that this would be on the scope, although it would be important, it would be on the scope of our hearing.
And I have in respect to ruling, and I just want to make a correction on the exhibit number because I see we used 168 before.
Yep.
So may I remake that same offer without restating it using the exhibit number 178?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you.
168 was the motion, or trial motion.
I don't have the 178 that I marked.
I'll get it corrected for markings for you.
Mr. Dillon, I'm just going to insert additional objections. I know you've ruled on one prior. I can't find either of these witnesses listed as a witness on the list that were previously provided. Perhaps I'm missing something. Mr. Dillon can point that out. And I didn't have this exhibit listed on Mr. Dillon's exhibit.
I just was given it today, so
Both of those are accurate statements by Mr. Scott.
yeah. This is the objection to sustained there.
2 more.
It's fine. I just want to make sure what's in and what's out.
Yep, that's not it. Just for the record, because the Commissioner covered, he's making an offer of proof so that if he's the non-prevailing party, it's an issue that he can say to the judge, he can go to the district judge and say, Mr. Rich screwed up on his ruling on this, he should have. Yeah,
That's exactly right.
We tell them that once in a while.
Trust me, I'm married, I get told it all the time.
Two more. The next one is Exhibit 166, and the witness who is involved in this is Dr. Timothy Namey, N-A-I-M-I. He's an MD and a master's degree licensed mental health professional. He practices in Boston, Massachusetts. If he were called to testify, he would testify about those matters that are contained in Exhibit 166. And his resume is a part of Exhibit 166. And I would just say, by way of very, very brief explanation and not to argue it, Dr. Namey's resume shows that he has written dozens of, he's probably the world's leading epidemiologist on alcohol and alcohol-related matters. Originally, those were medical matters, but he has also published extensively on the epidemiology of alcohol and crime. And his resume is about that. He covers some of that in his testimony. This was debated before the hearing, and Mr. Roop issued a ruling in limine when I requested permission to take his deposition. When that was denied, I took his sworn statement, which is not a deposition, but it is in question and answer form, and was given under oath. That's what I'm offering to you in the offer of proof.
Okay, would you spell his last name again?
N-A-I-M-I, Timothy.
And just once again, for the record, when I discussed it, it had nothing to do or on Dr. Namey's credentials. I believe that he would easily be a Daubert challenge. It was on the scope of the evidence being outside the scope of the hearing.
Final one. Exhibit 167 is the sworn statement taken under the same circumstances following a similar ruling by the hearing officer denying the opportunity to take deposition testimony which could have been presented. I then took the sworn statement of Deborah Evensen, E-V-E-N-S-E-N. Deborah is D-E-B-R-A. She is from Homer, Alaska. She has testified that she is a 31-year private practitioner of psychology or public employee in the field of psychology who works specifically with adult persons with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. And her work includes the training of law enforcement personnel to teach them to recognize persons who suffer from FASD. She explains in her testimony why that is important for the safety of the officer as well as the safety of the person being interrogated by the officer and those present. She also testified that the demonstrated relationship between law enforcement and the presence of fetal alcohol syndrome is so recognized now that the state of Alaska has adopted a statute. And I can say that this is a chilling thought to a lawyer. I don't know if it will be with the commissioners. A statute that makes medically diagnosed fetal alcohol syndrome a mitigating factor for felony sentencing. And that similar statutes have been adopted in 2 provinces in Canada. She also testified that a judge in the state of Alaska is now heading an American Bar Association task force studying whether there should be a uniform state law proposed to make diagnosed fetal alcohol syndrome a mitigating factor for sentencing purposes, because the consequence of the disease in an adult person is that though the person can appear to acknowledge a cause and effect relationship between an action and an outcome, as a matter of fact, behavior demonstrates that the person can't be aware of how an occurrence causes an outcome. So we offer it to the 167.
Once again, I'll restate my motion really on that one. It had nothing to do with her expertise, though it was a matter of beyond scope. Anything further, Mr. Donnelly?
No, we understand that the law enforcement officers will testify this afternoon with that understanding, and to meet my promise about noon, the contestants rest.
What we're going to do is, it's 5 to noon, we're going to take our lunch break, we'll reconvene at 1 o'clock. I would ask that the other citizen protestants who filed protestants who are not represented by Mr. Donnelly stay behind with me and the other attorneys who coordinate a testimony with them right afterwards. My anticipation is we will reconvene between 1 and 1:15, and with that, we are in our lunch recess.